Welcome to the Friendly Aussie Podcast.
Today, we're here with Shelly from the Her Highness crew.
Hello.
Hey, Shelly.
Oh, you guys make me laugh.
Oh, look, that's just our regular intro.
It is.
I don't know
love
what's so funny about that.
it. Just the way you suggest your vibe. It's awesome.
We're just stoned.
Yes,
How
we
have you
are.
been?
I'm good. How have you guys been?
It's been a
Getting
rough
along.
few weeks, but things are picking up again.
Doing our very best against the world.
Yeah. At least there's no COVID.
That's right.
Oh, no. Why did I
Count
say
our
that?
blessings.
You've just
Knock on
jinxed
wood.
Queensland.
Yeah,
That's not wood.
Oh, that's not wood. That can't. Okay, I've jinxed us.
We've got it. It's all right.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, Queensland. Oh, I was just going to say, isn't it funny how, like, we live in Queensland and it's like one of the only places in the world that's like, yeah, no, everything's been fine. It's fucking sweet.
It's chill.
Where's
chill
the
as.
hand sanitizer?
Yeah, that's
We
right.
right.
Look, COVID's no big deal, guys. Just wear a mask. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Fucking. But anyway, since last time,
Since last time, we've been probably how many episodes into the podcast?
Ooh,
Maybe 30.
almost 30.
Oh, wow.
Little
So-
under 30.
It's been over 18 months probably since we last talked to you.
Yeah, definitely. It's
lot
been
has gone
while.
on.
It has. So,
As a cannabis advocate, you've been pretty busy.
oh wow, it sounds strange when someone calls me that. You know, I
Yeah.
don't see myself as an ad. I can't even say the word, so I'm not even going to try because we'll be here for an hour.
Look, fair enough.
But
I just see some of the work you do. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, yeah,
thank you.
she's lifting people up in the community.
I'm trying to. As long as we can all have a cone and get along, then we're going to be right.
That should be a shirt. Let's all have a cone and get along.
Let's have a bong and get along.
Let's have a
Yeah.
bong. and
It's
get
already
along.
been a slogan in HH. Years ago, it used to be a thing. But we can do
Wow.
that. Let's
We
do
could
it.
that. Yeah, let's do
Yeah. Okay, done.
that. Next time. Yeah, it'll just be like new.
Yeah. I
Um,
only did it on like a cover photo on Facebook, so it wasn't like anything big.
Oh, yes. We'll pump it this
Yeah,
time.
we can do like
Yeah.
a sticker.
Sticker,
Maybe a
shirt,
shirt.
Yeah.
bumper sticker.
No bong mats.
No bong mats.
We've decided on that.
Inside joke.
No comment.
Anyway,
Lots been going on.
yeah.
Two major things that I come to think of in the last year that have happened for you, Shelley, is one was you ran for Queensland state election for the electorate of Ipswich.
Yes, that was the most scariest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life.
Yeah. What do you have to do as a candidate?
I had to stand there in front of people and be like, I smoke cannabis,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty huge.
have them not judge me. No, it was probably the best experience I've had in my life, because a lot of people that I thought would be like, you know, they smoke weed or they're, you know, no, they come up, they wanted to learn, they wanted to know more, wanted to know why I use cannabis, wanted to know why I was standing there, you know, promoting cannabis. And it ended up opening my eyes that it's not just the younger generation who's keen to legalise it. The older generation's screaming for it too.
True.
They're the ones with the arthritis and, you know, the old timers, and they need the cannabis. So, yeah, it was something different, something scary. I will do it again if it comes my way again, but it was a ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just
Shelley
getting
managed
out.
to get 5.5% of the votes, about 1,500 votes.
Yeah. It's huge, to be honest.
The winner got about 14,000, so she got about 10% of what the winner did. So that's a hefty amount.
I honestly reckon if the LCQ had more time, well, now we're legalised cannabis Australia, we're not LCQ anymore, but if we had more time to prepare and we had more people behind us and whatnot, I think we would have went way further.
Yeah.
I think,
with you there.
yeah, like I remember Deb ringing me and being like, you want to do this? I was like, wait, what?
It was very ad hoc, right?
Yeah, and then the next minute I'm standing on the side of the road with the call flutes going legalised cannabis, and all these people are like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was amazing.
Definitely more time. Like, you know, the groundwork's been laid a little bit here.
Yeah.
By Deb and Gail and everyone else involved. Paul and just fucking
Tony, yeah,
and-
God love them. Everyone's been awesome.
So
Support from the electorate's still really amazing, given that it was quite new.
And we need more people to still sign up and run for their electorates, because we didn't have enough people. Like, I was running for Ipswich, Tony was running for Ipswich West, and we had nobody in Bundamba. And
Right,
all my friends were like, who do I vote for? And I'm like, oh, you can't, because no one's standing up there. Like,
Right.
So sign up to the Legalised Cannabis Australia, please.
Get out there.
Yes.
definitely next election we've got a better chance. And I mean, we've got two people from
Western
Western
Australia.
Australia
Yeah.
in the Senate. So
that was amazing.
That's a hectic move. If that happened
Gives me
here, that would be
goosebumps.
actually frightening because that would be, there's no Senate in Queensland. So 2
Have a
seats here would be
unicameral parliament.
actually so much power that it would be scary.
Oh, let's do it. I don't understand why it doesn't happen. You talk to every single second person and they're like, I use cannabis, or this person uses cannabis. And it's like, we need to stand together to do this.
Yeah. The problem is most people who are not cannabis users, and even if they do agree with it, they don't like, I think, that one single party issue. Like they come to kind of see that as not necessarily in their best interest for
Yeah.
everything else, and that's maybe why.
Yeah.
But I think that's maybe just a bit of time till they get on the side of it and all of that.
What's interesting about the single issue voters, the parties in particular, when they do all right, is that, the MP or someone who's actually part of politics and gets elected, they'll look at the first preferences and they'll go, look at how many of those cannabis preferences flowed to me at the end of the day, and that got me elected.
Yeah.
So just being in the race and being there, if you perform even slightly better than expectations, you have more of a mandate to speak with the member
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
power, potentially.
But if my member in power was doing what was required by my town, I wouldn't have to stand there in the first place.
Quite right. So
You
they
know,
have to be
if-
pushed to the situation
Yeah.
where they might even consider it
I
slightly.
never in my life was like, I'm going to run for, election. But I wanted to run for election to have a voice for my people because they're not doing a good enough job.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
want legalised cannabis. How thick are you? Like, what's so hard about that? What's so hard about it?
There's a lot that becomes quite difficult, I think, for them because like they have fears.
It's a political calculation. Like when we've talked to MPs and state legislators and people who get elected up there.
Yeah.
Even Michael Pedersen, the guy who passed the legal cannabis in the ACT, they're all like, it's just something that politicians decide based upon, is this going to actually help my career? It's like and I know that sounds cynical, but it's like in order to really advocate for an issue, like the people who are in the Labor Party, they have to decide on like 10,000 issues that
Yeah.
all need support and all need help. And they're like, well, I only have this much political capital to spend.
Yeah.
And that's the hard decision that they're making.
Cannabis
at the end of the day.
falls very low for a lot of people,
Especially because they're
politicians.
having to deal with the conservative argument of, the stigma behind cannabis and all of that kind of shit.
It's just annoying.
It's annoying as hell. There needs to be more public acceptance. And all of those like
Yes.
pro-cannabis people that we've talked to, those politicians, they're like, Labor's missing out on an opportunity
Yeah.
here when it comes to actually championing the rights of people that they're supposed to be advocating and supporting.
Agreed.
I think the next few elections, I think we will get a little more momentum and a little more, and then there'll be this like
Yeah, you got to chip away at them.
breaking point.
If it
and then
happens in my lifetime, well,
we've done all right.
yeah, well,
Gotta
we
be happy
have.
with that.
We've got
I-
medical, so
Ah, good segue. What I was just about to say is, the other thing that you got onto was the medical. But like, before I bring it on that, just touching on the political side, isn't it interesting? We now have a medical system, and as that grows, that's going to definitely influence politics because you're going to have patients on that scheme. And that's going to really create, these are legitimate people with legitimate conditions wanting to use cannabis. So it's not necessarily going to help that recreational space
Yeah.
where we all want it to go, but it's kind of an inevitable thing. It's like you start there and then eventually it's like, oh yeah, people also like to use this because, well, it's fun.
yeah,
Like that's what it comes down to.
yeah,
So
I think
Shelly,
there's also a kind of weird thing where generally the bureaucracy, the medical community, the GPs, the academics, they all get on board with what community and the grassroots already knows.
yeah,
And that takes time. Like there's a sense within the cannabis community that they don't have the scientific rigor to really break it down.
yeah.
But we're all very interested in how the plant works and how it can treat certain conditions and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's starting to be backed up by the scientific community.
It's like we don't
starting to
know
enter
half of the things this plant can do because
That's
we're not
right.
allowed to learn it.
That's right. So it has to become more commonly accepted within those
and okay.
circles.
And insane like legalization and stuff. I'm not going to go pull out my bong and go sit in a park and just go smoke. Like I'm going to have respect for children. You know,
Right.
we're not going to do the wrong thing,
Sure.
but just let us smoke a plant.
That's right.
Isn't it bizarre? It's like literally a fucking plant.
It's very
Watch The God
simple.
Plant. Have you guys seen The God Plant on
No,
Prime?
I need to check that out.
It's a 2-hour documentary and it's the best thing I ever watched in my life.
All right.
Watch it.
All right.
Okay.
Cannabis I got really invested in before I started smoking cannabis because I started researching, should I smoke cannabis? I'm that much of a fucking nerd.
I do.
A lot of research though, right?
But I remember there was 2 documentaries that really left an imprint on me. The Culture High and The Union. And The Culture High, I think, was the sequel to The Union. The Union, though, was filmed in Canada, and it was about how the underground illegal cannabis system, the black market, how it all worked together, right? So, like, you have the growers, obviously, you have the sellers, obviously, but who else is involved? Well, it starts to go into, well, the real estate's involved because some real estate agents kind of hook them up with houses that they know is going to be safe. Then it's like maybe there's electricians involved. Then there's maybe people who are helping with the trimming. Then there's people with like all sorts of parts of like how it all, and it gets called the union. And in Canada, before legalization, I don't know now, it was something like 1 in 12 houses or something was growing pot. Like 1 in 12. It has such
Some
a
insane
culture
number.
that's been built up in particularly British Columbia, BC. That's why they call it BC Bud. It's like it's got it's like Cali of Canada, right?
Yeah.
And as far as I understand, I'm no expert. I'm sure I can get criticism for that. But the idea was like fucking every mum and dad was growing it because it was just a good side business. Everyone fucking wants it.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting now. So that was the union. And then the culture high was kind of like what happened after a bit of legalization and that push happened, and how it's kind of getting a little more corporatized and it's actually taking away from the people. It's like, people aren't growing their own shit, selling it. And it's like regulation on regulation. And that's kind of what's happened here, even way deeper because ours is all grounded in the medical industry, which I don't know, maybe for starts is the way we do go, but it's I wonder how hard is it going to be to kind of go backwards to go forwards, if that makes sense. Like, are they going to be able to be like, oh, okay, maybe you don't need to grow cannabis behind bars. Like that's kind of how it's grown here.
That gets me thinking though, because what about all the people that have been charged for growing cannabis and stuff that has been locked up? Do they get let out?
Yeah, that's a big question. So
There's
our
a lot of
government,
justice
not
issues.
so much. Like from the medical scheme, and because it's legal, no, they don't give a fuck. They're not going to remove anyone. But in states and countries and stuff where it has been legal, like particularly in the US, a lot of those states have removed a lot of cannabis records.
Okay.
So I think it does depend state to state. And
Yeah, it varies in Australia because you have different stages of decriminalisation. Like in the ACT, there's some of that in South Australia, but they've kind of reverted it recently.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variance across state lines, which makes the political stuff difficult. But particularly in Queensland, like there's been a few different reports into this, one more recently, and they all say that, the prison population and recidivism, people ending up back in prison after they've been in prison, it's rising dramatically. And a lot of that has to do with non-violent drug offences and people ending up in jail as a result of something which really, it's debatable that it's even a crime.
My baby daddy, he's probably going to kill me for even mentioning it, but he went to jail for 6 months for having a coke.
Fuck.
He got swabbed. Like, there's more to the story. He just got out and he was on parole, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he got swabbed, and because he had cannabis in his system, he went back for 6 months, and it ruined our fucking life. So sorry, Daniel, you're going to kill me for that, but it's a fact. And
it's actually almost impossible to believe that that's true. You know what I mean? It's like, how the fuck is that logical? Like a person smoked some leaves and now they're behind bars.
He was on parole, you know, he did do wrong before, and then he was out.
Of course.
And because he was on parole for a driving offence, he did get swabbed. So, I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong, but he shouldn't have went back for having cannabis.
Should
in
it be
his
some
system.
form of rehab? Something.
Cannabis only, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't driving. It wasn't just.
There's actually a really interesting, fun app that we found.
We'll have to share it with you.
Yeah.
It's to test how impaired you are.
Oh, let's test me now. Let's
It's
do
a good
it.
idea, right?
Do it, because I
Okay,
know
what's
how
it
baked
called?
I am.
Druid. I've got it.
Druid. Yeah, I've got it too.
I'm so down to test me.
So this is
Alright,
it.
I've got the app, guys. Tap the squares and circles. Where?
Oh,
So-
it's when you start it.
Okay.
If you press start, it'll give you the instructions
Okay.
for the first one.
Start.
So it'll tell you what you need.
Circle. And then I just do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
Yeah.
Much better than just getting a swab,
Swab.
And the cops are like, oh yeah,
And
you're impaired.
I've done the test and I barely pass it sober. Like I pass it, but it's like apparently I'm about 28% worse than people my age.
Yeah, I couldn't do that sober. If I tried doing that sober,
You'd be surprised.
No, I'd probably throw it.
It's not even because there's a balancing thing too where you got to go on one leg and stuff. There's a few bits, but it's not too difficult to be honest. It's not like I pass it, and then when I'm high and I've sunk a few, yeah, it shows how much slower you are and shit, and it's like, oh,
It's a significant
this
difference.
is fair.
Insane. Yeah, it is fair because if I have a couple of cones or something, or my vape or whatever, I'm not going to go jump behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in like 4 hours since smoking, I can drive.
Yeah, there's no question. There.
Yeah, they just say I can't.
People who are everyday smokers have a
Yes.
really like a major difference in terms of their relationship to cannabis to just someone who picks it
Yeah.
up.
And
every
that's
now
where
then.
I've got to also stretch because I never say that side of it. I'm like, if it's a random person who hasn't smoked before and they're
Yeah.
just having a talk, don't drive.
Yeah.
You're not going
You'll
to
be
chase
too
those
far
unicorns.
up. Like,
like-
you'll be doing this.
Lay
Get
down,
that.
eat those munchies, and go to sleep, sister.
It's like their one cone is like us pounding 4 or 5 of the medical,
Yeah,
And it's like, ooh.
Even then, like now, I feel like my body's only just starting to adapt to the medical because I think it's my second, third week now.
How do you feel about some of the stuff you've gotten?
I
so-
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so happy.
It's good weed.
Yes.
What did
it's-
you get?
I've got Stelio, and that's my indica, and then Aluminarium is my sativa.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, something like that.
It's from the Med Relief guys. They're
Yeah.
about, 19% or so?
The sativa's 19%, and then the indica is 21% with 1% CBD.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and there's 15 grams in each container, but they're $270 for each container.
It's not bad.
But it's not bad
Let's work that out
considering
per gram.
I was paying $280, $290 to $300 for a half in the black market.
Yeah.
That's $19 a gram.
Particularly
It's a
There
little
you go.
pricey, but not too bad.
I'm
Like-
happy with it.
Yeah.
Prices in Queensland just have not come down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't ever since COVID. It just skyrocketed.
Yep.
And then the quality of the weed would go down with the price of the
Yeah.
weed.
Going up, yeah.
And then, with the price of it going up. And
Why am I paying $130 for a Q of something that's like a little better than PGR?
Exactly. And that's where it got to me. And I was like, I'm done. I'm going to go pay because I did a $200 consultant fee. I can't say
Yeah.
it. And I paid that. And that was it. All I had to get was a health summary. I had to email them. I went in, told them my records, told them, about my anxiety and my depression and why I need cannabis. And they were amazing. I started crying. And then I walked out of a chemist with my cannabis.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Like I went there this morning to pick up my script.
Wow.
And I walked out and I was just like, I don't have to go home and hide this in my bra or my boot or something or while I'm driving. I can put it in my bag. If I get pulled over and they see it, it's my name. I'm fine. I don't have to go all the way home.
Yeah.
I can go do what I've got to do. I went food shopping the other week and I looked at my best friend. I was like, there's a half in my bag, man, and I'm allowed it. Like it's just amazing. I've been smoking since I was 13. I'm 30 next year, so it's been a long time. And to be told you're not allowed to, here you go, man, have a good day. It's
Right. Just being on the wrong side of the law for something
ain't a
which
criminal.
just is not, it's not
I
that
smoke a plant, man.
serious.
Like, leave me alone. Like, my friend had a housewarming party on the weekend.
Come
I didn't
on.
go. I just wanted to smoke bongs and watch
Yeah,
TV. Like,
exactly.
leave me alone.
Come on.
But, we wanted to get you on. I mean, you wanted to come on, really, to
Yeah.
explain a little bit of that process. So you've kind of summarized it pretty well. But, I can kind of add a little to it. So, if you are in Australia, which I assume 99% of you probably are,
And then if you're in a capital city in Australia, they have a lot of medical
access
clinics.
to medical clinics. But every state and territory I think it's more by state, has different laws surrounding the medical cannabis, how you apply for it and all that. But by and large, the kind of rule of thumb that I come to understand, you need some valid reasons for why you're taking it. So valid reasons can include chronic pain, insomnia, anxiety, depression.
Stress in the body.
Stress is like a so-so.
I'm not talking about like anxiety type stuff. I'm more talking about inflammation.
Inflammation, more likely to get the CBD. If we're talking just about getting onto the program for flower,
Yeah, true.
Little different.
Endometriosis.
Endometriosis.
Endo.
There's a few things. And
Lady problems.
there's a lot of that.
Period
There's
pain.
epilepsy. There's period pain can be one. There's a lot of reasons you can
Bipolar.
grab it. Bipolar can be. So basically what you need to do, say you've got a few of these conditions or one, or it doesn't really matter, and you've taken medications for them. That's kind of the key bit. The biggest thing they look for is, have you tried alternative forms of medication? So if you can say, yes, I do take Valium daily, or yes, I take Oxy for my pain, or yes, I've taken antidepressants or anti-anxiety pills. You can say you've taken them, but you don't like them. They don't work well for your body. They make you feel ill. These are
You
the
don't
after
want
effects.
prescription pills.
For me in particular, it was, I have a pretty strong case of insomnia occasionally or regularly. And the way cannabis just helps me entirely. I've been dealing with that for a long time, self-medicating. But I didn't like the sleeping pills because you take them and then you wake up more tired than when you went to sleep. And
Yeah,
you're like, I would
groggy.
rather have had no sleep than
Yeah.
deal with this grogginess. So that was kind of part of mine. And, also you can throw in my anxiety, depression and that sort of thing. And then some clinics, depending on which, they all have their own different processes and systems of how they prescribe. Some will give you flower immediately. Some will ask you to try the oils first, because oils actually work really well for a variety of people. For me, I got given the oils first with one flower script, which was kind of the doctor. But the oil, which I really liked, it was super clean. It felt fucking awesome. Like, it really relaxed the body. But the problem I didn't like is how long it took for it to come on. It took me at least an hour to feel it, but really like 2 or 3. And a mate of mine, it takes him like 6. Like it takes him 6 hours to feel a thing, and he can take like a lot of it.
And you still can't even drive with it,
And
can
you
you?
can't drive with it, right?
So what's the-
So you just can't time when you're okay. So there was that. And then it also made me a little too groggy in the afternoons. So I went back to my doctor during the follow-up visits and all that, or whatever. I think it was a phone call, but that sort of thing. And I explained, like, it just kind of whacks me out for a little while.
Yeah.
So I would rather flower, because then I can control how it comes on and all that. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Here, let me prescribe you 3 new flowers. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That's crazy.
And then I got to try a few, and now we're kind of working through what works for me, what doesn't. Some strains I find give me a little more anxiety than others. Some, like I had the Medican CCO1. It's an Afghan Kush. I really, really, really like it. But the problem I found was completely numbs my body. Like it's completely to rest, but my head's awake. So it's like you're laying in bed and you're like passed out, but you're like, fuck yeah, I can have conversations in my head all day.
I hear those people in there.
So, that I had a few times, and I was like, you know what? This actually isn't helping me with sleep. Even though it relaxes my body, it doesn't relax the mind.
Yeah.
And, I don't want a sativa for sleep, but this, even though it was a very strong indica, it was such a strong indica, I needed something in the head.
Yeah.
So then I got prescribed the Jerusalem, and that's been fantastic for sleep for me. And it's actually like a 60-40, and I think it's 60% indica, 40%
I haven't seen
sativa.
that one yet, have I?
I'll show you after this. It's nice.
It's nice
For
product.
17%, you wouldn't think it's super strong, but it's lovely. But anyway, so there's all that aside. And then you need to find a clinic. Some clinics don't need a referral. Some
Relief.
clinics do. MedRelief didn't need a referral.
I just needed my health summary and I had to email them. And that was
And you'll just go to your doctor, get that. If you need a referral, a lot of the clinics will have a form for you to print out to give to your doctor, and then you can kind of go to your doctor. Listen, I've been self-medicating for years or however long. I'd like to not feel like a criminal anymore. Wow, it's windy. I'd like to not feel like a criminal anymore, and I would also like to have some consistency and a doctor's consultation with my medicine.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they'll sign the referral. If they don't, well, fucking maybe you have to try another doctor. Because some doctors just don't understand
That was
there's
my
too much-
doctor.
There you go.
He refused. He's like, I'm not doing it. And then I
Yeah.
found out I didn't need a referral, and I ran to that chemist. I was like,
Yeah.
yep, I
So
need this.
it definitely depends on the clinics and all of that. And then state to state, it also depends. Some states are a little more lax than others and all of that. But one thing I found out recently is a lot of the clinics do a thing called telehealth,
Yeah.
where you're doing it by phone or by a Zoom call, Skype call, whatever it is. And you can actually book an appointment with a clinic out of your state and book in with them, and they can do that process with you. So I go through PlantMed. They offer that service. So you can book in, say you're in Melbourne. They'll organize the whole thing. You know, you have your consultation fee, follow-up fee, and then every clinic works a little differently with how they dispense your medicine. A few I know give you refills, but then some, like mine, you don't get refills. They kind of ask you to stock up on your medication, and then, you know, you get consulted, because mine's very much about the follow-up with the patient. So the idea is once you have your script, they want to have another chat with you to see, like, how did it go? They're trying to get all that data so they can really figure out, is it helping you, is it not?
Yeah, they're trying to do the right thing with the cannabis, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got to follow up with mine as well, but I do get repeats. So I think I get 4 repeats a month.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, 3 to 4 ounces a month that I'm allowed to get. And I don't even smoke that much. I think I've just brought my 4th jar, and that's going to last me.
That's 60 grams, so just over 2 ounces.
Yeah, and that will last me another 2 weeks, I'm hoping.
How have you noticed your use change since you grabbed the medical?
I think, like, if I'm honest right now, I've had a very draining week. So for the past week or 2, I have been smoking a lot more than I should be. We've got some, personal issues going on, but I'm not going back to it as much as what I used to. I can have a puff or 2 on my vape, and then I can put it down and walk away, and then I don't need it.
Yeah. That's what I found with the medical as well. It's like I felt like my use almost went down by half.
Yeah, like I don't need another puff of my vape till I get home.
Yeah.
We smoked 12 o'clock, a little bit ago now.
3 hours ago.
Yeah, so, and I don't need another puff anytime soon. Like, I never used to be able to do that. I used to need one every hour.
Yeah. So definitely the medical stuff is strong, but it's not only strong, it's clean.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
The clean vibe of it. It's like, holy fuck, this just comes on properly.
I just want to eat it. Like, I look at it and it's like so crystally and smelly, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Looks sweet.
Yeah. It looks like, the lollies that you see. Have you seen those chocolate buds? They're like, what are they called? Bruts or something? And they're like literally chocolate, and they look like buds. It's like, I just want to eat it.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
Delicious candy. Nugs of candy. Nug candy.
Now I want some candy.
So yeah, medical wise, definitely achievable, definitely obtainable in Australia now.
Definitely do it.
It's definitely worth doing if you're spending anywhere from $400 to $500 an ounce. It's probably in your best interest to do it, especially if you've got a little bit of a medical history. You just need a little bit. You don't need too much, but if you've never been to the doctor, you might struggle.
Go to the doctor today and then go back for your medical history next week.
I'd probably say a little longer, because a lot of the things they want you to try, they want it for maybe 2 or 3
That is the other thing. They do bring up sometimes. Have you attempted to work this out through other means? Like you said, with insomnia, I've used painkillers, not painkillers, like sleeping pills. And in the case of pretty much any condition, they want at least 1 or 2 attempt
Attempt
something else.
medication.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
But codeine's something else. Valium's something else.
True.
Oxy.
Exercising is something else.
Ex-
Over the
Exercising is
counter,
something else.
yoga and meditation. I
Yeah.
mean,
You've tried.
It really depends on your clinic and your relationship with the doctor. But your biggest problem, if the clinic's asking you to get a referral and your doctor's not, that might be tough. You might have to try and find a clinic that's willing to do it without referral and that sort of thing. But definitely give it a go if you've got some real conditions. I strongly recommend getting yourself a CBD oil as well, not just getting flower, because the CBD does balance out the flower, so it's not so psychoactive. You get a little less skitsy, calms your mind a lot more, helps me relax. Like if I don't take CBD oil for 3 days, I'm actually a mess.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, the medical's pretty good. Depending on your clinic as well as the choice of what flower you get. Some clinics will only stock maybe 2, like Shelly's.
That's mine, yeah.
Consistently, they've got great product, but then you've got other clinics like mine. I've had maybe 6 different types of flower so far, maybe even a bit more, I'm not sure. And yeah, it just varies clinic to clinic of what you can get.
if you're in a regional or rural area, you might find there's a lack of diversity.
Well, they will
Yeah.
mail it out to you.
They
That's
will
the
also
thing.
mail
They
it
will
out
mail
to
it
Oh,
out.
wow.
Yeah, so my clinic's willing to mail it out if I don't want to go in for like $10, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather just go in and say g'day.
Yeah.
Girlfriend also just started working there, so that's kind of cool.
We love you, Jojo.
She's amazing.
Sorry, Miss Cannabis.
Yeah.
So check out Plant Med, ring them up, and you'll get Georgia on the phone. She'll be like, hey, welcome
Maybe
to Plant
soon.
Med.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. But other than that, we're now here.
Yeah.
That's a bit of medical info for you. Where do we go from here? I guess, what's the future really hold for Shelly and the Her Highness group and the community as a whole?
That's a
going
good
on?
question. I don't really know at the moment, if I'm honest. I'm stuck in a little, I don't know where to go with it anymore. You know, I've built this platform, we've got the place for advice, we've got, you know, our safe zone for our girls, and I want to be there and help with the legalisation. I want to be there and help. I don't know where to take HH anymore. I really don't. It's gotten to a point now where sometimes I do feel a bit, you know, unappreciated. Like, girls forget that I am a mum, you know, I do have a partner. I can't be on my phone 24/7. But yeah, so I'm just at that little rocky road where I'm like, where do I go with Her Highness? What is next? I think
What could
events.
come, mate. Yeah.
I want to do more events. The girls love that kind of stuff. I need to do my own Her Highness Mardi Gras, you know, something like I
Festival.
just, my own kind of festival. I just don't know at the moment. Any ideas? No.
I think the 420 picnic sort of thing. I think we need to get something like that.
We gotta do
moving.
that.
I think every 2 months it'd be good for the community to come together, have some fucking snags, and
Yeah.
have a chat and see what we can actually whip up there.
I'll make a cob loaf. Like, I make a really good cob loaf.
Ooh, man, I do like a good cob. Me and Georgia were just talking the other day. It's like, fuck, it's been a while since we've had a cob loaf. And then I was like, when was the last time? And we sat there looking at each other and it was
Thinking about it.
oh yeah, it was Zoe's party. Yep.
Oh, I love these too.
There was the curry ball cob loaf. It was weird. So like they made a cheese ball and it was covered in curry powder, and then the cob loaf was there, but it wasn't in the cob loaf. It was
What?
like you use the cob out. It was.
It's not a cob loaf.
No. It was like, I think it was actually that plus a cob loaf.
Was it
actually.
good?
It was fucking good.
Okay.
It was good.
That's right.
Yeah, it was the Murphy family secret recipe.
I'm going home to make cob loaf.
Yeah, the boys that
Whoa.
made it, they were like, yeah, we don't know how to make anything other than this. And I was like, it shows.
I'm so having cob loaf.
It shows because it was a good cob loaf, or it shows because there was
No,
something part of them.
That cheese ball that they created, it had like bacon, cheese, curry powder. It was fucking
Do
good.
you think they created it, or was it the
No, no, no,
Cheesecake
no.
Shop one?
No. This was genuinely from their family. I've had it a few times.
Okay.
And it was, I think, their grandma's recipe.
Oh, I love Grandma's recipes.
It was fucking good.
Where's Grandma?
It was a good time.
I'm hungry now.
Me too. I've been plant-based for 4 days. I haven't
He's talking
eaten
about
meat
cob loaves.
or cheese or anything dairy in 4 fucking days.
But why?
Well, I watched a documentary.
Okay.
So it was like, yeah,
Changed
cool.
everything,
let's
man.
Change,
Okay.
let's change our life. No, it was called The Game Changers. It's about a UFC guy who's going plant-based to see, can you still be big and, you know, all that. And the doco kind of goes through like people who've achieved amazing feats within like humanity, like world record setting shit.
There you go.
And they're all vegan and like plant-based. And then they were showing athletes and all sorts of things and like the benefits of the thing. And the thing that got me was
Oh no.
they got these NFL players, right? These football players to put this thing around their dicks to measure how hard their dicks are when they go to sleep, right?
Cool.
So,
Do I leave at the...
so here's what happened. They gained about 8 to 13% size, but they were harder for like 300% longer than if they were eating meat.
So what you're telling me, broccoli is basically like a Viagra pill.
Fucking men will-
Basically.
you men will tell yourself anything, won't you? It's like
It's
just,
what we needed.
No, they had a weight on it. Why else would it not?
do you
Yes,
mean?
but
Didn't they have a weight on
Oh,
it?
no,
Yeah.
they
Down?
wore it at both times. It was just like a thing that measured size and how hard they were for how long.
Okay, I thought it had like a
'Cause
weight.
you know
on
how dudes get boners.
Okay,
while
let's
they
go back to
sleep?
cannabis.
let's stop talking about cock rings.
God damn it.
No, I don't know how dudes
This is
get
the
boners.
fab.
I'm a
This is the
chick.
Friendly Aussie podcast. The fab.
I don't get boners at night time.
Oh, man. I thought lady
It's the
boners
kind
were
of
real.
shit that Yossa, it's like it switches his entire perspective on diets. It's like
Yeah.
if my dick can be slightly bigger, I'll
can
become
stay hard for
vegan.
longer. I'm gonna eat the plants.
I'm going to eat all the plants.
Oh no, is that why there's a plant in here?
Oh, yeah. We've got plants all over the house.
We love plants.
But that was just one example. There's a bunch. It was really interesting. There was like a strongman.
Good doco.
It was a very good doco. So
I don't think I want to watch it anymore.
do. It's good. There's a dude who ran for like 46 days doing an ultra marathon to set this world record of like traveling from one point to another. 46 fucking days. I think he ran like 4,000 kilometers.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
believe it too because my brother's a vegan and he's fucking athletic.
Yeah, it just endless energy is apparently what they claim.
Yeah.
I find I've just got endless pooping. Like, because you're eating so much like liquids, it's just like it's time to go to the bathroom 4
I just
times
like
a day.
steak, man.
I like steak too. I've got a freezer full of like really good fucking steak.
I'll
and
take
I'm
it
just-
home if you don't want it.
Nah. See, I'm thinking about becoming a part-time vegan, you know?
That works.
Why don't you just become like more healthier instead of becoming vegan? Just like eat some plants during the day.
I eat plants during the day as it is. Like, I'm a
and then
salad
just
and
eat your
veggie
steak
dude.
too.
Yeah, but like, let's see how this goes.
Okay, you do you.
My thinking is
No,
see how
no
this
hate.
is for a week, because like you got to look at the other end. The whole vegan kind of talk, it also comes into like the environmental damage of what meat does.
Yeah.
Because like, how much does a cow have to eat to get the same amount of protein as you do having to eat potatoes or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, but we don't eat grass like cows.
Yeah, but what we're saying is you have to now use so much of the world to farm meat, right? And all you're doing is killing fucking animals.
True.
And you're having to use all this land for them to just be eaten on you. It's like the efficiency of eating a cow versus eating plants is like
I don't like
100
to
to
think about
1.
this.
There's that
know.
argument. There's that argument, and
they're
there's
cute.
there's validity to it, right? Because yeah, of course, they're intelligent creatures and they take up
beautiful.
large amounts of space with pasture. But also, if you're thinking about monocultural crop production, it isn't exactly ecological. I mean, it's maybe more efficient than, you know, developing a full cow so you can cut it up and eat it. But it's not that much better. I mean, you're still destroying entire environments to put soy in the ground. Do you know
Oh,
what I mean?
100%. I'm not saying that it's going one way or the other. I'm just saying like there's definitely more involved with breeding animals on
Oh,
top
yeah,
of
for
the
sure.
methane
I
gas that
agree
they're
with
letting
that.
out into the environment.
Yep. No argument.
You
there.
know, like there's definitely environmental reasons to be a vegan.
For sure.
But,
For sure.
you know, those are not the reasons I'm doing it. I'm doing it for bigger dick.
And I'm probably going to give up after a week.
No.
This should probably just be edited,
Yeah.
but maybe not. Just let
See how we
people know
feel in
who I
the-
really am.
in the cutting room
Some
other
people might
side.
turn vegan too, so
That's right.
I think this is probably irrelevant.
If you want a bigger dick, you better go vegan.
There's your new slogan.
I watched a documentary. I know everything.
Yep.
That's about it.
Contrary to popular belief, steak makes your penis small.
What? Okay, this is just too much.
Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Lee, I'm lucky I don't have a penis. 'cause I
Man,
like
but
the
I made
steak.
such a good pad thai last night. Like, look at this shit.
Oh, stop talking about food. Oh.
Like,
And that's vegan.
That's vegan. That
All
was
right,
with tofu.
also,
It's
now that
pretty
you've
good.
mentioned it on the podcast, you have to send it to me so I can put it on the podcast so people can see it and appreciate
Yeah,
it.
okay.
We'll put it in the blog post, yeah.
Good, thank you.
Down the bottom.
All right. Josip's fucking pad
Pad
thai.
Thai.
I don't even know what pad thai is, but it looked good.
It's like a
Thai
it's
meal.
Thai dish, yeah.
It's like probably their most famous
Noodles.
dish. It's fucking good.
See, I love like Thai and stuff like that, but I don't know what to order.
Oh, the pad CU or the pad Thai is
Yeah,
what
those
you
are
want.
classics.
Those are the two good
Everyone
ones.
send me your
It's
suggestions.
like the butter chicken of the pad world.
Yeah.
Cool.
The pad Thai is one of the most balanced dishes in the entire world. They get the heat, the salty, the sweet, the crunchy. Like, it's just got all the flavors and texture you could ever want in a meal. And it's perfect. Yeah.
So
The Thai cuisine is probably one of the most refined cuisines in the entire world, actually.
Yeah, and if you ever want to fuck off to a place that is like paradise, just check out Koh Samui. It's a
That's
bit
it.
touristy, but it's a fucking lovely island. So much shit
Yeah.
to do.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, me too. I've only had oats today. Goddamn
KFC.
vegan crap.
Like I really did though.
Yeah, that'd be good though. The dirty bird. Oh.
But
So
I
you
only
just-
like popcorn chicken.
Act now and then worry about the consequences later.
Yeah,
You know, it's generally how it goes.
that's all right. But other than that, I mean, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No.
This has been a good podcast.
I feel like I've been crap. I'm so tired.
Oh,
like
don't worry.
for weeks I've wanted to talk about different things and bring things up, but now I'm just like, is it even, worth bringing it up? Like,
Yes.
No, because some of it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
Things that build on the mind. And you're like,
Yeah.
you just want to let it out, but then you're like, is it
even
worth letting it out in public?
Yeah, like what's the point? Like none of them even care. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be whinging. Like,
Yeah.
Funny though.
yeah,
No one likes a whinger.
exactly.
It's
That's why I don't post on Facebook anymore.
I don't know. I feel like I see like 3 posts a day from you.
Not as much as I used to.
She's gone down from
Cutting
12.
I'm trying, and then I delete them half the time because I'm like, what is the point?
Yeah, I often now I start writing like a witty response to kind of aggravate someone or trigger someone or just
Of
be
course
smart.
you do.
And I'm just like, I'm ready, and I'm like, actually, you know what? I don't want to reply to what their reply is going to be. Fuck you. I'm saying nothing.
Yeah,
But
it's remarkable.
that's where it gets sometimes.
It's such a waste of time. It's
People
like,
forget there's a real person behind that screen or behind that
Oof.
Facebook emoji.
do they ever? Also, it's like, because they are just looking at text and
Yeah.
they've shadowed certain things in their psyche, they don't
Yeah.
want to accept that as
That's
part
why I
of it.
always try to do voice messages these days so they can hear my tone of voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and how
voice
I'm trying to put
messages
it.
are really good until
Yeah.
they fucking start yelling at you.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, sorry.
Keep it calm. Keep it calm.
But yeah, I guess all I want to say to my girls is just remember, I'm trying my hardest. I love you all and I'm doing it for us all. So
Yeah,
give me a break sometimes.
that's right.
But HH girls do it better.
Ba-bam. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I reckon that's a good place to leave it. That was positive, healthy, enthusiastic. Don't go vegan.
A warm podcast.
A warm
Smoke weed every day.
A warm cast. Blaze it.
That's
Blaze it
what we
all
should
day.
go do.
We should go have a cone.
Yeah, come try
Yeah.
this Stelio.
Ooh.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
See you,
Bye.
everybody.
See you in 18 months. Woo.